Yeah, we're live. We know YouTube, we know that we're live. So, what else we're gonna do? Ndewonu mmadụ niile, ndewonu. None. Unu abịaruola Nwada Sally, ndewo. Aha. This is success, ndewo. Chinwe Joy, you're welcome. Ndewonu. None. No. Odoziakụ Chinwe. Agị nwe aka. Ndewo nne m, ị na-agbalị. Ndị nkụzi niile na-eme ka gị. Anyị ga-aga n'ihu karịa ebe anyị nọ ugbu a. Ekelele m gị. Aha. Ndewonu. N'ụbọchị taa, ihe ọmụmụ anyị ga-adịtụ iche. Mana ọ ga-awụkwa isiokwu anyị na-akpa kamgbe anyị nọ ebe a. Ana m anabata mmadụ niile. Theophilus, you're welcome. Zion, you're welcome. So today we are here again to continue the discussion on aspects of Igbo pronouns. And thank you, Theophilus. Yeah. So it is going to be fantastic. All right. So, but while we are doing what we're doing is so we know that we have grounded the knowledge pretty so. You're welcome. Omo, you're welcome. So for those of you that are joining us for the first time, this live show is about learning the Igbo grammar. And this teaching is primarily for teachers of the language Igbo. And if you are a teacher, whatever we are discussing here is as well applicable to your language. If you are non-Igbo, if you speak other languages, it is applicable. Every language has a way it works. It has a structure. Yan, you're welcome. So since the past few months, or rather weeks, we've been treating how the proverbs, how the pronouns of Igbo language works. So that's why we're here again today. Day one. Who joined us on YouTube, please, can you identify? Kedu onye na-esonyere anyị na YouTube? Mee ka anyị mara onye bụ. Oh, yeah, thank you. All right. Please share. We're here to have at least 1 hour, 30 minutes conversation. Share. Melana, you're welcome. Hasib, Melana, you're welcome. Raha, you're welcome. Okay, Igbo language. For those in between might be, you're welcome. Yeah. Let me TikTok. I often forget that I need to unmirror my camera. Okay, it is now on mirror. Thank you for pointing that out. YouTube has not helped us so much. Okay, thank you. God bless you. You're welcome. Thank you for joining. So for those of you that are native speakers of other languages, we are encouraging you to learn from our class, what we're doing here. It is important that we know how our languages work. We are not here to dance. We are here to learn. And we are here to also show our linguistic and cultural identity. Please, if you join us, try share the live and and encourage us the way you are supposed to. All right. The last week I looked at the other pronouns, which included the third person pronoun. And emetụrụ m aka ntakịrị na nnọchiaha nke onye abụọ. So nnọchiaha nke onye atọ, nnọchiaha nke onye abụọ. Unu ga-echeta na eji m aka m kpọọ nnọchiaha nke a na e nke anyị nọ na amụ kamgbe izu ole na ole gara aga, nnọchiaha onye anọ. Mana nnọchiaha onye mbụ nke bụ mụ, onye abụọ i na gị, onye atọ o na ọ. Anyị rụtụchara ha aka. We touched on this and how they work. N'ime ihe anyị kwuru, ihe anyị chọrọ ime ka onye ọbụla na-ede Igbo wee mara bụ na nnọchiaha ebe ọbụla ọ nọ, ị ga-edesarịrị ya, ị ga-edepụta iche. Enweghị ihe dịka iwu ndekọ na iwu ndesa nọ na nnọchiaha. Nnọchiaha bụ desa ya. Iwu na-achị ya ma ọ bụ iwu ọ na-eso bụ iwu ndesa. Ọ ga-anọrọ onwe ya. Now, the problem we are dealing with is to identify where we have nnọchiaha in a sentence. Ọ ebe anyị nwere nsogbu. Kedu ebe anyị na-ahụ nnọchiaha n'ahịrịokwu? Okay? And Libra Brand, you're welcome. Margarita Nkom, you're welcome. So when you see a sentence, a typical sentence in Igbo language, where do you see nnọchiaha? Because most of the times what we write as a sentence bears the pronoun. I keep saying proverb because we are dealing with proverb in Omenka app. So most of the times the things we write as well bears the pronouns. Corporate lady, you are welcome. Hua, Dad, and Larry Perry, I welcome you all. Now, I must mention to you that at this point that this literacy project is brought to you by Omenka app. And Omenka app is an organization that is concerned with the literacy of Igbo language, both amongst Igbo speakers and non-Igbo speakers. Okay. And so it is important that we know that what we are trying to project here is a grounded knowledge and literacy of our language. And it is also something of note that Oseku Foods, you are welcome. Thank you for joining us. Please, as you come, share the live program. Share the live program. Let us have more people to join us here to share in our knowledge today. So, so it is important for us to know that if you are a speaker of any language, you should be grounded in the knowledge of it. Not, your primary language. Ọ bụrụ na ịbụ onye na-asụ Igbo, ị kwesịrị ịma asụsụ gị. Ị na-asụ Yoruba or Hausa or Efik or Ibibio, ị kwesịrị ịma asụsụ gị. You're supposed to know your language, and to the point that even though you cannot possibly explain the grammatical structure, but you can write it. Today, all of us who speak English, we are judged by how correct we write English or how incorrect, even the pronunciation. English is not my mother tongue. It's not my language one. It is a foreign language imposed on me by colonialism, and I saw myself speaking English. But I am being judged globally by how well I speak English or how correctly I write English or not, which is very, very unfair, whereby people are not often checked how well they write or speak their language, their native language. So that is the idea we are projecting here, that it is unfair, okay? And if we are being judged by how well we speak the colonial language, the English, the French, and all of those colonial languages, you can imagine how much judgment that should be, on us by people with regard to our own language. Okay, so like I tell my team members that I prefer to have this conversation and teach this class in Igbo language purely. I am proud of that. But I come here and I also speak in English because I know that there are people who join us here who are benefiting from what we're doing here. There are other people who also stop by, they hear about our program and they stop by and they joined. It is good to accommodate them because they may learn something about our language that is beneficial to them in their language. So, oh yes. So those are on YouTube, please, can you identify? Open on a YouTube. Make I Maronyebo. YouTube is doesn't show like TikTok shows the names of people that are joining. All right. So that is why we are doing what we're doing here. And because we are language people, we are looking at how people are conversant with their language primarily before any other language. So Omenka app is an app created for the preservation of Igbo language. Omenka app is on iOS and Android. If you go in there, you can download the app and it will teach you Igbo language. Hassan, I welcome you. Much of what we are looking at here today is what is Menka app and others that we are also going to be putting on the app. The app is very comprehensive. By the time we finish building the app, it is going to be one of the best language apps that you may have, come across. Casimiro Zumba, you are welcome. People have been building apps to help promote their language. Our concern on Omenka app is the preservation. And this is particular with or to Igbo language because a few years back, there was a UNESCO prediction about how Igbo language would go extinct. And we, as the speakers and scholars of the language, we do not want that to happen to our language. We do not want it to happen to us. And we do not want it to happen to any language. Uncommon Olaide, you are welcome to this program. All right. We are on live program on TikTok and YouTube, and you can join us from any one of these. And I want to let us know that on Mondays at this time we have this grammar class. On Friday we have a class with the young Igbo speakers who are physically with me in the class. We were not able to meet on Friday because we had very, very choky, conflicting, schedule. Even though we tried, we made an attempt to, but it really did not work. So on Friday, I na Bieba to discuss Ilu Igbo, which is the proverb. So that's why I keep, mentioning proverb instead of pronouns. So we come here to discuss the proverbs. And if you are a speaker of another language and your language has proverbs, just like the Igbo people speak in a lot of proverbs, especially the elderly. So when you are around the elderly people, you learn a lot of wit, a lot of wisdom that comes from the proverbs, okay? And if you are an Igbo person that does not know the proverbs, it is a very big minus on your person and personality, especially when you are in the midst of the kinsmen who know more about their cultural identity and linguistic identity than you do. So, ọ bụrụ na ịbụ nwa afọ Igbo ị na-ebe a ịbụ nwa ntorobịa onye na-eto eto and you know that you do not know the proverbs, please do not miss that class. Father, we missed you in the briefing this morning. How are you doing? Okay, you are welcome. Okay, so that is for Friday. And Saturday, we will be talking about the Igbo culture. And this coming Saturday, we have a special guest that will be discussing with us some of the mistakes and errors we make when we are breaking the kola nut. If you're conversing with Igbo, Boss Gesner, I welcome you. Ọ bụ na ịbụ onye Igbo, ịma ihe ọjị pụtara, ịma mkpa ọjị dịrị ndị Igbo. Okay, o nwere ọtụtụ ihe ndị na-emezi n'ụbọchị a nke ndị mmadụ, onye ọbụla na-aga ọjị, ụfọdụ ndị mmadụ na-ada iwu na-eso ọjị. Onye anyị na-akpọbata na Satọde na-abịa bụ otu n'ime ndị m nụtụrụla, ndị m maara nwere ezigbote amamihe n'ihe gbasara ọjị. Owusu, you're welcome. Thank you for joining us. So the kola nut, the significance of kola nuts in Igbo culture is something that as long as life exists, you do not, neglect it. Stephen Opera, I welcome you. So, but you find out because of how significant or prominently significant the Oji is in Igbo culture, we now have fallen the victim of making mistakes when we are breaking the kola nuts. And that is what we are going to be talking about on Saturday. That will be, I guess, on the 9th. Yeah. Is it on the 9th? I will give us the actual day. But Saturday we talk Omenala. We discuss Omenala, which is, the culture. All right. Kingsley, thank you for joining us. Grassfield, you all are welcome. None. Okay. So, n'ihi na grammar, ụtọ asụsụ ka anyị na-amụ maka ya, anyị na-ede ihe na board. Okay. So if you are ọwụ na iso na otu ndị nkụzi Igbo ị nọ ebe a, ahụgo m gị Oriakụ Chinwe, biko mee ka anyị mara. And anyị na-achọ ịmata ndị nkụzi Igbo ndị bịazurula ihe ọmụmụ a ugboro 4 kemgbe anyị bidoro ya. Mekwa ka anyị mara. Please, if you've been here for the past 4 consecutive times, we want to know you. Ọ bụrụ na ị bụ nwa akwụkwọ, mee ka anyị mara n'isi na Mahadum AE-FUNAI maọbụ Mahadum UNN. These are the 2 universities who have a cohort. We want to know those that are joining us from these 2 universities particularly. And so if you're from any other university, that's not completely relevant. Okay, so n'izu gara aga, in the last week, I now touched the other pronouns, the first person, second person, and third person. And like I said, thank you for the flower Usekwu Foods. Thank you for being the first gifter of today. Diego Gucci, I welcome you. So you find out that what we emphasize in that class, which is what we've been emphasizing, is that people have problem writing Igbo and as it concerns the pronouns. And so I'm going to put that on the board again. So whereby we'll have and mo as first. We have E, G as second. We have O as third. We have A as fourth. Okay, n'asụsụ Igbo wee bụrụ nnọchiaha onye mbụ, nnọchiaha onye abụọ, nnọchiaha onye atọ, nnọchiaha onye anọ. Taa ka a ga-eji okwu ya n'Igbo. Mụ, nna mụ, I, gị, ọ na a, e. Anyị bidoro ihe ọmụmụ a n'ebe nnọchiaha onye anọ nọ, the fourth person. That's what really prompted our class. And that is because we found out, AG, you're welcome. We found out that people make a lot of mistake writing this, writing a sentence that contains the unknown, the fourth person pronoun. Okay, and then he led us to pointing out this and all of that. And last week I was able to let us know that in each of these occurrences, we know that we write them separately. Okay, and I nyere ndị nkụzi Igbo ihe omume and the test or exam that you did. We're looking through it, and we are going to come up with the scores very very soon. And then if there's anybody may emerge as the best uh, student, I ga-enye ya ihe nrite. Okay, all right. Ndewo ndị na-esote anyị na YouTube. Please, can you identify, tell us who you are, and if you are a student or n'iso na otu ndị Igbo anyị ga-achọ, ndị nkuzi Igbo anyị ga-achọ ịmata. Oh, all right. So ya bụ na today, what I'm going to do today is to take your feedbacks, and whatever I get from you, we'll put it back to our discussion. That's what we're doing today, and it's going to be highly interactive. So jikere ijede Igbo ugbu jikere ijede Igbo, and I would like to encourage the participation from everybody. Okay, thank you Wanda Sale, for making this place alive. All right, those who are on YouTube, please, I'm seeing you now because I my board is mirrored. I can't help that one, but I prefer seeing you because I'm using my front camera, to using the back camera. And I really, last time I didn't know what people were doing. Maeve, you are welcome. We welcome you to the live show. Leos, you're welcome as well. Okay, so having spent up to 5 or 6 weeks discussing, starting from the Nnọchiaha na A, Rona, the other Nnọchiaha, having spent all these weeks, ka anyị lekene etu ihe ndị a si arụ ọrụ n'ahịrịokwu na ọ ga-adị mkpa n'ihi gịnị n'ebe niile anyị na-ahụ ndị mmadụ na-ede Igbo, ị ga-ahụ na ọ bụ ihe na-agba anya mmiri na edekwa ya anyị abanyekwa na nsogbu anyị amaghị ka esi edepụta nnọchiaha ndị a iche. Before I forget, we are working with the teachers, ndị na-akụzi Igbo na ụlọ akwụkwọ niile. So those who are teaching Igbo language in the different elementary and secondary schools. Also, we want to extend our work relationship with ndị na-ede Igbo or ndị na-akwalite Igbo na social media. So if you are a social media, thank you Useku Foods, thank you for the flower. If you are a social media content creator, there's going to be a conference or workshop coming up that we expect that we and you are going to gather to have conversations about Igbo language and Igbo culture as we present it on the social media. So thank you everyone that is helping to promote Igbo language and Igbo identity. All right, so for those who are lovers of Igbo and who join us here from time to time in the event, we appreciate you so much. It is fun. Okay, we're going into the action. And what is today's action? Today's action, gehiwisi na ihe aimugoro, all the things we've been looking at and talking about in the lesson for Nnọchiaha and the proverbs. So it is going to be more like what I have done before, and but it is to test our knowledge about the class we've been doing. All right, so today, if you know how to write Igbo, I don't care if it is 2, 3, 4, 5% that are writing. I just want to see people writing. Willie, you are welcome. Thank you for joining us. Please don't be shy to write when I say you should write, because it's just a learning process. Okay, Obona, especially Obonebu Nwafibo, because Bambo Kide. Okay, all right. So in here, Madu Derek I geji we mere ihe ọmụmụ nke ụbọchị taa. All the examples as they're coming, and my examples are going to be touching both all the Nnọchiaha, okay? And so, all right. Where's my duster? Ugbu a anyị nọ na ihe omume exercise. Stacy Martin, welcome you. Lathori, you are welcome to the live show. Okay. Ahịrịokwu nke mbụ anyị ga-anụ ebe a bụ ahịrịokwu nke si ekwe ekwe na-ekwete n'ute ekpere. Ekwe ekwe, ịchọgide ekwe ekwe, ekwe ekwe na-ekwete n'ute ekpere. Just know that primarily what I'm after is the correctness of the position of either Nnọchiaha or the prefix that is in the sentence. Okay? Mara na ihe m na-achọ ịhụ, ọ bụrụ na ihe ndị ọzọ ideteghị ya, ihe m na-achọ ịhụ bụ ma idetere Nnọchiaha ma ọ bụ nganiru nọ na ahịrịokwu a. Okay? That is going to be the onus of our discussion. Okay, ekwe ekwe maọbụ ekwe ekwe na-ekwete n'ute ekwere. Can we attack it? Osule, Mr. Q4688. Mr. Q, ndewo. I greet you in my language. Excuse me. All right. Produit Creole, you're welcome. Ndewo, I greet you in my language. Okay, ụmụafọ Igbo nọ ebe a. Let's go. Nke mbụ, I'm not writing it until I see somebody. YouTube participants, ngwa. Ahịrịokwu a sị ekwe ekwe na-ekwete n'ute ekwere. Aha. Ọ gafeela. Ndewo maka flawa nke ahụ sekwu food. Ekwe ekwe na-ekwete n'ute ekwere. Ana m ahụ. This is success and Odoziakụ Chinwe. Ndewo. Aha. Kedu ndị na-ede ndị nọ na YouTube anakwaghị m ahụ ihe unu na-ede o. Aha. I'm waiting. Pretty Lamo, ndewo, I welcome you in my language. Ekwe ekwe na-ekwete n'ute ekwere. Israel, you're welcome. I have only 2 people that have written it. I give 1 more minute. Ndị YouTube, anaghị m ahụ ihe unu na-ede. Ewere onye ọzọ, ekweghị ekwe na-ekwete n'ute kwere. Ekweghị ekwe na-ekwete n'ute kwere. Okay. All right, ka anyị lee ihe edere anyị ebe a nke sitere n'aka Odoziakụ Chinwe na This is Success. Okay. Nke mbụ anyị hụrụ ebe ahụ bụ ekweghị ekwe. Nke abụọ, ekweghị ekwe. Okay. Ndị YouTube ọkwụrụ na ahụ ya. All right. Ebe a anyị hụrụ ọzịza mmadụ abụọ nke yiwere otu. I believe they are the same. Okay, what is different here is this from the second example. All right. So I will say that nke mbụ, I will start from the last clause. N'ute ekwere, correct. N'ute ekwere, not correct. Anakwa ka ngeji ode nke ndị nkuzi na-eji akanyere ụmụ akwụkwọ ihe. So we'll have this, not correct. This, correct. Okay. Let's go to the other clause or phrase. This, na-ekwete, correct. Na-ekwete, correct. Mmadụ abụọ ndị a dere ihe a. Nke mbụ, the first clause, nke bụ nkebi ahịrị nke mbụ anyị na-ele anya. Nke a edeteghị ya. Nke a edeteghị ya. Gịnị mere anyị ji sị na mmadụ abụọ zara ya edeteghị ya na nkebi ahịrị nke mbụ? N'ihi gịnị? Ha desara nọ na ekweghị ekwe. Ha desara ya edesa. It is not supposed to be written apart. Nọ na ekweghị ekwe. Agaghị edesa ya edesa. Why? It is not a pronoun. This is just a big problem with Igbo language, writing of the language. And you see why we are spending time to look at it. Like ọdịmka kedu ihe ọzọ, kedu ụzọ ọzọ anyị nwere ike iji were ihe a tinye n'isi anyị wee daba nke ọma. And I'm glad that, you know, the Igbo speakers that are joining this class, even though you are not a linguistic expert or something, this is something that everybody should be concerned with. Nide asụsụ abụ Igbo. It is very easy, very, very subtle for you to miswrite. Okay? And that is like this. So, ekwe. Now, going by ihe anyị mugoro na class, this is not a pronoun issue. This is rather a word that should be together because the first A is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Somebody's asking, what is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday called? So we name our weeks by first, second, third, as opposed to what it's called in English. Abalembo, which is the first day of the week. Abale abụọ, ụbọchị abụọ n'izu, the second day of the week. That's how we name. So in terms of Igbo calendar, which is also different from the English calendar we're using, these are named that way. Primarily, the Igbo calendar does not see Monday as the first day of the week or something. So it's a little bit different. Okay. All right. Father, yes. Maka na ọ bụghị nnọchiaha. It is not a pronoun. So if it is not a pronoun, what it is? What is it? It is a prefix. Ekwe. Now, some people might argue, say, thank you, Father. Might argue, say, ekwe might be written or should be written together. I don't have a problem with that. Whether you write ekwe together, but not to join it with a hyphen. But so long as you observe that the first A is not a pronoun, or boy nnọchiaha, so long as you know that it is a prefix, it is supposed to be together. That is what I'm looking at. Okay? Tasha, how are you? Good evening. It's good to have you. Miracle, you're welcome. All right. So we are testing our knowledge, what we have been doing, learning. Tasha, your presence encourages me. I appreciate you for always, coming here to spend time with us. Appreciate you so much. All right. Ekwe na-ekwetenute ekwere. That's the first. Okay. Nobody got it correctly. So we don't have to clap for anybody. All right. This is Success is answering you as well. We count days. Okay, it has passed. All right. Thank you for the flowers. TPL. That is very kind of you and generous of you. Thank you. Okay. We are going to go to the next. Because if you are writing, let me know. Thank you, Seku Food. Thanks for the flower. If you are writing, please write first before I clean. Or if I clean before you wrote, let me know. Call my attention, okay? All right. Nke abụọ. This has come up before, right? So I want to, test us again with it. Okay, let me not go there a second. Nke abụọ, eme ngwa ngwa emeghara ọdachi. Eme ngwa ngwa emeghara ọdachi. 1, 2, go. Let's go. Eme ngwa ngwa emeghara ọdachi. Think this, everybody should get it. Like even non-Igbo speakers that are here should be able to get it. Eme ngwa ngwa emeghara ọdachi. So for ekwe na ekwetenute ekwere, it means is a proverb. I like to really express some of these expressions here in proverb, because Igbo proverb is rich in wisdom and knowledge. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for the gifts. All right. Eme ngwa ngwa emeghara ọdachi. Get on with it. Yay. Eme ngwa ngwa emeghara ọdachi. Keep sharing the live. Keep liking the live, please. If you're here, we need more language enthusiasts here, please. Okay, who is getting on it? Eme ngwa ngwa emeghara ọdachi. YouTube guest, I didn't get any response from you. Eme ngwa ngwa emeghara ọdachi. Odoziakụ Chinwe, ndewo. Eme ngwa ngwa emeghara ọdachi. Let's get on with it. Fidelia Coco, ndewo, no. You're welcome. Eme ngwa ngwa. We've gotten one answer from Odoziakụ Chinwe, onye nkuzi Igbo. Ihe na-eme na-akpa ya obiọma. Jisike. Yep. Eme ngwa ngwa emeghara ọdachi. Go in. We have 1.5 minutes more left to write it. Igbo speakers, Igbo writers. Eme ngwa ngwa emeghara ọdachi. Father. Eme ngwa ngwa emeghara ọdachi. We got in a second person. Yeah. Can we get all the persons to write this sentence? Eme ngwa ngwa emeghara ọdachi. 30 seconds. Going. Okay, we'll have 2 responses. Okay, 3. Eme ngwa ngwa emeghara ọdachi. Okay. So, kaile nke mbụ, ndewo ndị dere ya. Ndewo. First, from Chinwe, eme ngwa ngwa emeghara ọdachi. Father says eme ngwa ngwa emeghara ọdachi. This is success. Eme ngwa ngwa emeghara ọdachi. Okay, nke a dị mkpụmkpụ is very short, so I expected that everybody would depict it. All right, so from the 3 responses, I see that the last clause is correct, even though emeghara is dialectal. This in its entirety is correct. Father, this is not correct. Father ahụkwa father nke ụka. Father ideariziri ya. Okay. Right. So I want idearịrị ya dị ụta. this is a correct way to write it. Now, why? So let's look at the sentence. Emengwangwa emeghara ọdachi. Tupu anyị lee ya anya, ka anyị kụọrọ ọnụ ndị detara ya aka. Chinwe, success. And father, looks like you rewrote it. Okay. So, give me 1 sec, please. Okay. Emengwangwa emeghara ọdachi. That is the correct way to write it. Now, the first reason bụ na nke a bụ nnọchiaha. Eme. Kedu onye ga-eme? Ọ bụrụ na mee ngwa ngwa. If mee ngwa ngwa, who is A? It is that person, that fourth person that we do not know about. Ọ bụrụ na mee ngwa ngwa, gịnị ga-eme? Ga-emeghara ọdachi. Like I said, the greatest challenge every Igbo writer has in this topic we are dealing with is using your native knowledge to know when a word like the one-letter word, one-sound word, like A or A, when it is a pronoun. And this is very particular with the fourth person pronoun. Very particular. Like you may know easily when it is second or third person. But when it is the fourth person, it begins to create a problem of understanding that it is a pronoun. Now, I have articles of people, scholars who have argued whether this is a pronoun or something else. But even in that argument, they are not saying that this word has anything that supports it being written together. It is all about academic argument, whether it should be called a pronoun or eclectic, proclitic and enclitic. Those are academic arguments, which is not what we're here for. What we're here for is to understand the correctness, the way we should write our language correctly. And for those who are not native Igbo speakers here, you might wonder, why is it that, an average Igbo speaker will find it difficult to understand a thing like this? Yes, that is the nature of the language. The language, as it concerns the use of these pronouns, to a large extent poses a challenge. And that's why we're spending as much time on this as we have, and we might also do. Because by the time you look at it, when an expression is made, if you do not take time to understand that in this sentence, it contains a pronoun, it becomes a problem. It's unlike he, it, that the way we say it in English. All right. Okay. Ndi dereya, thank you. Appreciate you. Ka anyị gaa n'ọzọ. All right. Ma ahụghị ka e mere eme ka ahụrụ. We did it in the last class. Can we try to remember it? Ma ahụghị ka e mere eme ka ahụrụ. Alright, everyone. The third one, ma ahụghị ka e mere eme ka ahụrụ. And that's just how I'm going to say it. Ma ahụghị ka e mere eme ka ahụrụ. Okay, Osile. Ma ahụghị ka e mere eme ka ahụrụ. Yep. Ndị nọ na YouTube. Ndewonu. All right, let's get that. Kedu ndị na-ede? Ma ahụghị ka e mere eme ka ahụrụ. Thank you all that are sharing the live and that are gifting, sending likes and love. Ndewonu. Chukwu gọzie unu. Yeah, ọ dị mkpa ka anyị na-ekesa ihe anyị na-eme ebe a ka ụmụafọ Igbo ndị amaghị ihe anyị na-eme wee mara. It's very, very important. Ma ahụghị ka e mere eme ka ahụrụ. Okay, and if you have a question, you put it on the chat. And if you are interested in joining me here on live, requests to be added, to be brought up. Ma ahụghị ka e mere eme ka ahụrụ. Ya ana m eche. Okay. Nwada Sally. Ndewo maka nke ahụ. Enwere onye ọzọ na-ede ya? Na YouTube, enwere onye ọzọ na-ede ya? I hope that you're okay. Enwere ndị ọzọ ga-ede ya? Who is trying? Who is trying? Ma ahụghị ka e mere eme ka ahụrụ. Ndewo Odoziakụ Chinwe. Odoziakụ Nneka Ugwuoke. Ndewo. Ndị YouTube unu na-agbalị. Kedu ebe ọ ga-ọkwara biko nụ. All right, ma ahụghị ka e mere eme ka ahụrụ. Okay. Ana m achọ ka anyị kụpụrụ mmadụ niile dere ya, ha detachara ya. Kwa. Let's clap for ourselves. That means that we remembered what we did the last time. Odoziakụ Chinwe, Odoziakụ Ugwuoke. Thank you for your responses. Yeah. And Nwada Sally. Okay. So hi, I welcome you. Any question, please put it on the chat. Any question, put it on the chat. All right. I got my day. We know it, so that's why I'm not writing it on the board, because we tested ourselves on that the last time. So I got gafe. Now the fourth one on Abia. All right. So for those joining us anew, this is brought to you by Omenka app. Download Omenka app from your Android and iOS phone if you want to learn more about Igbo language and culture. If you're not Igbo, they won't want Igbo. Ubua, ikwesali nwete app a na-akpọ Omenka. And igama na ihe na-arụ ebe ahụ hiri nne. The work we're doing there is much, and we are asking for people's assistance. All right. I actually email Okwa Eba. Ibo Nwaafọ Igbo. I want to chọrọ n'aka gị. We need to beef up the proverb section of the app. Biko anyị na-arịọ ndị ga-ezitere anyị ilu Igbo. Ilu ọbụla ị maara n'Igbo. Detere anyị ya. Okay? Please. If you have our WhatsApp number, +1505 4856544 is on our account. Use it to send a WhatsApp to us, the Nnọchiaha Igbo, or you go to our email info@omenkaapp.com and send us Ilu Igbo. I na-edekọ Ilu Igbo with documenting the proverbs, and we need your assistance. Mgbe na-adịghị anya, anyị ga-ezipụ ndị otu anyị ndị ga-aga na ụlọ akwụkwọ ndị niile dị iche iche inyere anyị aka ihiwe omenka, otu omenka, this Omenka App Club. And nke a bụ ihe mere anyị ji na-edegara ndị isi ụlọ akwụkwọ. Ọ bụ na ịbụ onye nọ na otu ndị nkụzi Igbo, uche gị dị n'ihe anyị na-eme, mgbe na-adịghị anyị na ndị isi ụlọ akwụkwọ ga-enwe mmekọrịta ihe ma ọ bụ mkparịta ụka nke ga-enyere anyị aka, nyere ha aka inyere anyị aka na ọrụ nke anyị na-arụ. And dịka ụdị mkparịta ụka ndị anyị na-enwe ebe a, ọ bụrụ na enwe ọtụtụ ụmụafọ Igbo ndị na-esonye ihe gbasara idezi Igbo na idegharị Igbo, ọ ga na-abụ nsogbu nke anyị ga-achịkọta ọnụ mgbe na-adịghị anya. All right, the fourth one, as we're going to have it, bụ all right. Ọ sị na-eje ya ụka ụnyaahụ. Ọ sị na-eje ya ụka ụnyaahụ. Asị m na ọ sị na o je ya ụka. Ọ sị na-eje ya ụka ụnyaahụ. Asị m na ọ sị na o je ya ụka. Asị m ọ sị na-eje ya ụka ụnyaahụ. Fourth. Okay. Ọ sị na-eje ya ụka ụnyaahụ. While you are writing that, the fifth one ga-abụ Ilu Igbo. Ekwekwa ama agba. Ekwekwa ama agba. All right, who is writing? Ọ sị na-eje ya ụka ụnyaahụ. Ọ sị na-eje ya ụka ụnyaahụ. Ndewo, Doziakụ Chinwe. Ọ sị na-eje ya ụka ụnyaahụ. Ndewo. Dịka ị na-ede ya, dere m ekwekọ ama agba. Okay. The rest gonna stop. Ọ sị na-eje ya ụka ụnyaahụ. Mmadụ abụọ edele ya. Dịka ị na-ede ya, dere m ekwekọ ama agba. Ndewo. Ekwekọ ama agba. All right, mmadụ abụọ edekwala ya. Unu na-anwa. Thank you. Ekwekọ ama agba. Ọ sị na-eje ya ụka ụnyaahụ. Onye ọzọ na-achọ ide ya. Let's do quick, fast. We have spent 1 hour already. Okay. Anyị ahụgo mmadụ abụọ dere ya. Any third person? All right. Ọ sị na eje ya ụka ụnyaahụ. Ekwekọ ama agba. All right. Thank you. Ekwekọ ama agba. Ọ sị na eje ya ụka ụnyaahụ. Okay. Aga m ede ya ụzọ abụọ. Kembụ, aga m achịkọta ihe niile edere. Ndị niile dere ọ sị na eje ya ụka ụnyaahụ. Whether me dere with 1 hour or 2 hours is okay. That's not my issue. So long as it dere ota. Mmadụ abụọ dere ya, mmadụ atọ, mmadụ abụọ dere ya ota. Nke abụọ. Oh, sorry. Ọ sị na-eje ya ụka ụnyaahụ. Ihe a bụ ụzọ abụọ ndị anyị nwetara n'aka ndị niile dere ya. Ndị niile dere nke a detere ya. Ihe niile gbasara nke a bụ ndehie maọbụ ndejọ. N'ihi gịnị? Ebe a, this is a pronoun. This is a pronoun. The third person pronoun, right? This is the fourth person pronoun. The third person is talking about the fourth person that didn't go to church yesterday. We don't know who the person is. So, the only standard way to represent the idea is to, first of all, know that the third person is a person and is separately written. Okay? The fourth person that they are talking about is a person that we do not know about. What we know is that that person we are talking about did not go to church yesterday. That's what he's talking about. The third person we know is a person that the first and second persons know about, right? Ossi, who said, or is a person we know. But the fourth is a person we do not know. Nenna, you're welcome. Ọzọkwa, ya bụrụ na mgbe ọbụla ị na ịnụrụ okwu Igbo, ahịrị okwu Igbo, ị na-achọ ide ya, mee ka ụbụrụ isi gị gwa gị na n'ime ahịrị a jụọ gị sị enwere nnọchiaha. Do we have a pronoun representing a noun? Is that pronoun first, second, third, or fourth? That would determine how correct what you're going to write is, as far as Igbo language is concerned. So, Ossi, or is a person. Anusi Echidimma ndewo. Ị na-abịa na zoge. Okay, please. Or is a person that first and second know. We know who is saying. But or is talking about the fourth. Onye nke anọ, we don't know. But we know that onye nke anọ did not go to church yesterday. All right. Why this is completely correct, incorrect, is, yes, onye dere ya matara na onye abu a person, okay, a pronoun. But there's no relationship here between na and a J because this we see this hyphen only when we are dealing with enyemaka ngwa, which is the auxiliary verb. So this is nejeyi oka. And if we convert this sentence to mean osi nejeyi oka, the meaning has changed. It's no longer Igbo because it is not complete. Osi nejeyi oka, we'll be waiting to hear what you want to say to complete the sentence. Nejeyi oka gini mere. Okay, good. But here, all is telling us now ejeyi oka, and that's it. All right. Osi na ejeyi oka. Biko inwe ajụjụ tinyere anyị ebe a. Oh. So let's remove this. Ana m achọ ndị ga-enye m ntụpụta izu ụzọ ọzọ anyị nwere ike iji lebara isiokwu a bụ nnọchiaha anya ka o nwee ike ịdabakwu nke ọma. It is quite touchy, okay? So I need your advice. Any other way you think we can look at it? You know, any other method you have in mind that we can use in discussing this topic, please let me know. While we continue to Beatrice, thank you. So why we continue to dwell on this is because it creates a huge problem. So amongst us here now, you see how much we are learning because we're still getting, what is not correctly written. So that is why we keep like coming back to this. The second sentence I want to go, equal ama agba. Ekwekọ ama agba. He or she said they went to church yesterday. Okay, he or she is all. And they that you are talking about, is it the plural of he or she? Nena, I would like to know that. The they there, is it the plural of he or she? The singular, okay. He or she is a singular, and they there, like America uses it today also, is a singular as well. If that be the case, that means osina o j or o j o osina o j oka. Moreover, plural will be osina ha a j oka. Now, if it is they, that is they that we do not know, because what you said falls under what we've already described. They that we do not know, it is a J-U-O-K, because we don't know that day. But if it is they that is springing up from the he or she, as you use it, it is still osino J-U-O-K, the third person pronoun, okay? Osina o J-U-O-K, unyahu, okay? Which is O and O. Osina o J-U-O-K. All right. Ekwekọ ama agba. N'ahịrịokwu a enweghị ebe nwere nnọchiaha. There's no pronoun here. So there's nothing to write apart. The first one, ekwe. Ekwe is a noun. It's gong, right? Ko, verb. And Nkoli, do good. You're welcome. You came late. Ama agba. Agba is a verb and it has a prefix. Okay, so that is why everything is written together. Ekwekọ ama agba. Ndị nọ na YouTube na anaghị enyetụkwana anyị aka ndị TikTok na-enye anyị na-eweliri anyị aka elu na-etinye aka n'akara ịhụnanya. Yeah, do good, you're welcome. All right, so it's important for us to do that. Thank you, appreciate it. Right. Ekwe, when the gong plays on its own, what happens? There is an expectation of, information. When you hear the gong, when you hear the wooden gong, ekwe, there is an expectation that something is being communicated. So, ọ bụrụ na ekwe kwuo, I know the ekwe, I ga na-eche, gịnị ka ekwe na-ekwuru? Why is the gong being beaten? There's something that will follow it. You don't just play ekwe, whether it's ikoro or just the ordinary ekwe. There is ama. There is a communication, an information coming down from eze maọbụ ndị obodo and all of that. Okay, all right. Biko inwe ajụjụ tinye ya ebe ahụ. We are gonna be happy to answer your question. Right. Ekwe kụọ ama agba, enweghị nnọchiaha nọ na ya. Nobody is represented here, so there's nothing to write apart. Ekwe does not have a pronoun. It does not have a prefix. It's a noun. Ọ bụ aha. Ekwe, anyị ma ihe ọ bụ. Ekwe o, ekwe o, ekwe o, ekwe. All right. Who is interested in contacting? Okay. Right. Then ama. Agba. Agba is a verb and it has a prefix. So that is why we have. So you work for a, eba, and it's a verb, so it doesn't have a pronoun. All right. So this is the correct way, and nideria deteria. Ndewo odoze akuchinwe. Ina bali nke ukwuu for responding and responding and responding. So mmadụ emekwarala gị anya ukwu mgbe ị ga na-enweta ihe nrite sitere na mgbalị gị ebe a. Thank you. You encourage us here. All right. Nke ise, I hope we've written this down. The fifth example. Aha. Yeah. Eje agaghị aga, adịghị mma. This is me creating confusion in your head. Eje agaghị aga, adịghị mma. All right, let's tackle it. Let me know how much we've known this. Eje agaghị aga, adịghị mma. Aya osile ụmụafọ Igbo. Okay. Do good. You see, I am the beg makage. Eje agaghị aga, adịghị mma. Neka, eje agaghị aga, adịghị mma. Father, eje agaghị aga, adịghị mma. Ndewonu ụmụafọ Igbo, unu anwa. Unu na-agbalị. Ya. Eje agaghị aga, adịghị mma. Beautiful. Beautiful. Lady. Ndewo. Eje agaghị aga, adịghị mma. Chinwe, eje agaghị aga, adịghị mma. Beatrice, eje agaghị aga, adịghị mma. Biko ndị niile si n'otu ndị nkụzi Igbo mee ka mara. I've seen you do good. Mrs. Chinwe, Mrs. Ugoke, and Chidimma. All right. Eje agayaga adema. Thank you. Unemela. Right. Yeah. Ọtụtụ ndị ka m hụrụ dere ya otu a. All right, lady ndewo. Gịnị bụ aha gị n'otu ndị Igbo otu ndị nkụzi Igbo? Lady. Ejeghị eje agaghị aga adịghị mma. Ọ bụrụ na ị dere otu a, kọọrọ onwe gị aka ka ị kọrọ ha n'aka. Right. Gịnị mere anyị ji nwee ejeghị eje agaghị aga adịghị mma si na ọ dị na otu a ka o kwesịrị ka edee ya? Nke mbụ, ejeghị abụghị ejeghị. Ama m na anyị na-abịa na ihe gbasara ụdaolu na anyị ga-eme ụdaolu ebe a mgbe na-adịghị anya. Ejeghị abụghị ejeghị. Ole dị mma, ndewo nne m. All right. N'ihi gịnị? Ụdaolu na-enye aka na mgbe ọ bụ nnọchiaha maọbụ mgbe ọ bụ mgbe ọ bụ nganiru. Right. Ejeghị, not going, not moving, not walking, not going. Okay? The same. Ejeghị eje, which is just one clause. Agaghị aga, which is also one clause. Onweghị mgbe ọ sị agaghị. If you look at the structure, adịghị mma, they are all the same. Ha wụ otu ihe ahụ. Okay? Ejeghị eje, not going. Agaghị aga, not moving, which is the same thing, is not what? Good. Ọ naghị enyere ije aka. It doesn't help when a team is working together and you are not moving forward with the team. Okay? That is it. O nwere onye nwere ajụjụ? Each of them, ma ejeghị eje, ma agaghị aga, ma adịghị mma, ha niile bụ verbal phrase. Akwa unu chetara the drawing we had, the sentence, noun phrase, and verb phrase. N'izu gara aga, ahịrịokwu ọbụla dị otu a. Ahịrịokwu ngalaba nke aha, ngalaba nke ngwa, sentence, noun phrase, and verb phrase. So n'ihi na ngwa ndị a niile nwere mgbakwunye, nganiru na nsonaazụ, ya nwa mere ji nwee n'ihu ngwa, nwee yi n'azụ ngwa. Otu a ka ọ dị na agaghị, otu a ka ọ dị na adịghị mma. Alright, enwere onye nwere ajụjụ na ya? This is good. At least everybody dere ya detere ya. So thank you for your efforts. Okay. Nke is C, the sixth one. It's going to be a long one. Ana m ewepụta ya site na otu egwu agba ochie. Otu onye anyị maara aha ya na-akụ egwu agba ochie, Chef King. Ndewo. Ethan Zeph, you're welcome. All right, I'm lifting this up from a popular old-time religion gospel song. Odubugam okperazu. Aga m adịrị gị ndụ is a long one. Odubugam okperazu. Aga m adịrị gị ndụ. Now, I want to say this. Obidola onye ọbụla dewe, but I'm going to be talking while you're writing. Odupugam okperazu. Aga m adịrị gị ndụ. Ndị na-akụ egwu, ọwụnị na-akụ egwu ebe a n'Igbo. Gee ntị. Ndị na-akụ egwu so na ndị na-emebiri anyị ka esi ede Igbo. My mom ndị na-akụ egwu na-ede ihe ha na-edepụtara ha na epekele rekọdụ ha, ma ọ bụ onwere ndị na-edere ha ihe ndị ahụ. But if you go on YouTube where you want to listen to Igbo song or Spotify or any of these music apps, the way they write Igbo there is when you see it, you begin to cry. Why? I'm not even talking about the lyrics of their song. I'm just talking about the title of the song. I don't know where they're getting that kind of Igbo they're writing from. But it is very, very heartbreaking when you see some things written in Igbo. Odupugam okperazu. Aga m adịrị gị ndụ. Ndewo. Odoziakụ Nneka. Lady. Odupugam okperazu. Aga m adịrị gị ndụ. Ebe a ka anyị ga-amata ndị ụbụrụ ha na-anụ ọkụ n'ihe gbasara nnọchiaha na nganiru. Concepta Emmy, we welcome you. Odupugam okperazu. Aga m adịrị gị ndụ. But this is it's sounding interesting, you know. Mara abụọ ya ofu na YouTube, ofu na TikTok. Yes. Mara atọ odupugam okperazu. Aga m adịrị gị ndụ. Do good. Odupugam okperazu. Aga m adịrị gị ndụ. Ndewonu. Ndị ụbụrụ ha na-anụ ọkụ. Odupugam okperazu. Yep. Nena. Odupugam okperazu. Aga m adịrị gị ndụ. Okay? Think about 5 or 6 people. Thank you all that are participating. Clap for you. Ndewonu. Appreciate that. Odupugam okperazu. All right, let's see it. Right? Ndị niile detere ya unu gbalịrị. Okay. I'm not going to write what people wrote. I'm going to write the correct one. Okay? Aga m ede otu o kwesịrị ede, enwego ndị detere ya. And then we'll look at it. Ọ bụrụ na ị dere ya otu a, bụ ụzọ kụgodoro onwe gị aka first. Okay? Ọ bụrụ na ihe a ka ị dere, Kọrọ onwe gị aka. Okay. Now, questions will be ringing in your head. If you didn't write it, if you separated the O from dupugam, okay, or you wrote this together, then agamedea also in this way. And I'm concerned only with the first two. Okay. Odupugam oberazu. Do good, you're not supposed to. All right. Kaile yanya. Nkembo. Okay, let me start from Kabo. All they allowed is permitted for you to write it this way if you are looking at the name, whether it's a title name, a given name. You are permitted to write it this way. So, so I want to obora madu. It becomes permitted for you to bring the first person plural and first person pronoun dekotayono. Okay. The same is functional here. Oberazo can be written together if it is a name. Okay. I know that oburu aha mados are odupugam oberazo. The question might be, how about we write it all together? You can also write it all together, dupugam oberazo, but the question now will be the technicality. Does it promote understanding? Only dekota hani long okay make out here. Okay, that is something that was okay. It's better we separate it for consistency's sake. Now, uzombum jidea odupugam oberazo is the more correct way. Obonoboyaha. Even though here there is a name implication. Let's look at the first one. Why do we have O together with dupugam when everything about what we know about O tells us that it is a pronoun? Why? Onyeko Zurula, which is a one name. And this name, I know the person that has this name very well. And this is how they write it, Onyeko Zurule. Thank you, Sekufus, for giving that example where we can write, Imaha, Nenyerayaka, it permits us to write a sentence together. Then, so long as someone understands it, or na make a nghọta ya, when sobu. All right. Now, nwafọ Igbo ga-ajụzi onwe ya sị, ebe kemgbe anyị na-amụ nnọchiaha, anyị sị na ị ga-edesarịrị nnọchiaha o maọbụ ọ. You're going to have to write it as part from the verb. So why do we write it together here? Kedu onye ma the answer? I expect that somebody onye detere ya should know the answer. Why? In this case now, why do we write it together? Let me hear from you, everybody. Kedu ihe ma ga-eji ede odupugam dịka otu mkpụrụ okwu? Kedu onye maara ya? Ihe niile anyị na-amụ ebe a na-asị anyị nnọchiaha o na ọ a na-edesa ya edesa. You don't write it together with the verb. Maka nnọchiaha na-eso ngwa ahụ. Okay? Okay. That is one idea. Maka nnọchiaha na-eso ya. Oh, okay. Beatrice, okay. Beatrice asking, is it because of the pronoun? Which pronoun, Beatrice? Yeah, in the YouTube, we're very sorry, we cannot change the mirroring of the board. So you just use your sense and understand it. And I think the question, Beatrice, you are asking is the answer that Do Good is providing, right? If I understood you well. And when you also Maraya or that has an idea, can you make a dekota odupugam ono? All right, and a dekota ha madu ono. Okay, mana ebe a ọbụghị aha mmadụ ugbu a. Nke abụọ aha mmadụ Chinwe. Nke abụọ aha mmadụ. Mana nke mbụ abụghị aha mmadụ per se. It is not a given name. Okay? Odupugam Oberazu. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. The reason I gave in the first place that we write names together. And also have additional example with Onyeko Zurule, which is good. All right, okay, let me answer the question. Na otasusu Igbo in advanced Igbo grammar or grammatical learning. Enwe ụzọ a na-esi emebe okwu. There's one of the ways we form words, which is called anyị mara onye na-edu na onye a na-edu. Okay, lady, thanks for the email maka ọsịsa gị. Mana nkọwa ya bụ na n'asụsụ Igbo na ụtọ asụsụ Igbo enwere otu ụzọ ọ bụ na akọwa ka esi emebe okwu when we are looking at how we form words. If you are good in the area of morphology, one of the things that you learn is how we form Igbo words. And when a word that is formed can leave one aspect of the classes of word and get into another aspect. Mgbe okwu imebere, coinage, yeah, vocabulary expansion and all of that. Okay, word formation primarily. Okay, don't worry, Beatrice. I am going to get. I will explain everything. The complexity. I know that yes, this is a little bit problematic, and this is why we're spending time on this. Now, otu ụzọ a na-eji ekwu okwu a na-akpọ gerund. Kedu ndị nụgoro maka gerund? Ọ bụ asụsụ Bekee. Ndị Igbo enweghị ya. So they also coin it gerund. Okay? So we don't have the equivalent of it. All right. Okay. So reduplication of the verb root. So gerundive words are coined from verbs, even in English. An example of a gerundive word in English is building. Building is a verb as well as a noun. When you are building, which is the action of erecting a house. You also have a building by the time you finish your work, right? It is an aspect called gerund. N'asụsụ Igbo, the way we form gerunds is by bringing the pronoun and the verb together. So that's one time And the only pronoun that serves this purpose, nembo, o or o. The other pronouns are not qualified in forming gerunds. So, how did we come about odupugam? Onye na-edupuga. Onye na-edupuga. That is the phrase or the clause, not phrase. Thank you, lady. Onye na-edupuga. So we don't want to go to onye abu onye na-edupuga, the person, okay? Right. Igbo has a way of making it become one word. And for that to happen, the law, the rule of writing the pronouns separately will be broken. O and O, the gerunds of Igbo language, yes. So they have to break the law of writing the pronoun O and O apart. You have to break that law. And now that's where you have Obubu, Ororo. This now is coming from, like, we are getting the example from Useku food. When you form the gerund, you reduplicate. This is a different thing altogether. Before reduplication, you can form the gerund. So before you get to Obubu, what you have first is what? Obu. Obu. And who is Obu? Obu what? Okay, I don't want to say the word in English so that TikTok doesn't think like we are doing something bad here. Okay, so I will say Obu ano. Obu ano, which is what? A butcher. Odupuga is an abbreviation of Onye na-edupuga. Thank you, Beatrice. That's it. Onye na-edupuga is Odupuga. It becomes a noun formed from a verb. So the pronoun and the verb will not have to come together. Because dịka anyị hụrụ na ọmụmaatụ onye ka o zurula. Onye ka o zurula is a full sentence, question sentence. Asking a question. If you write it separate, you know how it goes. But because Igbo noun permits you to now fuse it together because it's a noun, you now have onye ka o zurula. So Odupugam is an example of aha emebere site na Nnọchiaha na ngwa. The same goes to Okperazo. And that is also whereby you now are permitted to write Okperazo together. Because it's a noun, even though it is not a name of a person. Even here, it's a noun now. Because it is a gerundive noun. We have Obu, Oba, Oba agene, Oba ball, Oba egu, Oko, Oko egu, Oko nkwa. You know, so we have these gerundive nouns. Now, for us to now also make it about a non-person noun. Remember, a person noun that is from the gerund is like Obu, Oba. Noun agents, my dear, thank you. They are called noun agents. So for us now to make it a non-person noun, you now get Obubu, Obuba, Obuba agbara ụnyaahụ, Ogbugbu egburu nwoke ahụ ije ụwa. Beatrice ije ụwa. Okay, so ọgịga anyị gara, ojije ejere, they are all nouns. You form them now by repeating part of the noun, infusing additional syllable. Okay, then a different kind of noun emerges. That is the only reason I nweta odubugam okperazo as one word, one word. Agamaderegendo, of course, you know how that issue, how that should be written. Beatrice, is it Odotolanya somehow? Do you still have any confusion? Any question? One of the, in fact, in word formation, noun agents, and on a thumb. Okay. So Nena, the meaning in English, I gave an example to say building. Okay. Building is a noun derived from the verb building. And as much as the functionality as it is in English is not the same in Igbo, but an example of that is when you are building, to build a house, you are erecting a house. Okay. Okay, thank you, Nana. All right. Okay, the meaning of the phrase, oh, Odupugam Operazo is somebody that sends me in the front and backs me up. That's what it means. And that's a name, Etutaha, onye gụrụ egwu ahụ nyere Chineke. When ndị Igbo na-asị onye nna ya dịnyere ohi na-eji ụkwụ agbawa ụzọ. Okay, so you know that you have a backing, so you do whatever you want to do with impunity in the positive. I don't mean negative. You do whatever you want to do, with every confidence, because you have a backing. And the backing inwardable, a higher force, a higher power that is telling you, go, I'm with you. Okay, that is why we like when we refer to God in our communication with him as those who believe in God, you kind of speak with confidence that, oh, this is my Father and I should speak with him in confidence. So onye na-edupụga m n'ihu ya nọrọ n'azụ, because he is watching over me. That's what that word is. All right. Okay, we are going to be wrapping it up here. I genye the last example, then we'll begin to wrap it up. Please, if you still have a question, let me know if you have a question. Okay. All right. If anything is not very clear, please. Yeah, ana m ekele ndị niile na-esonye anyị ebe a taa. Cheta na n'ụbọchị Friday na anyị ga-agbakọkwa ebe a ịmụ ihe gbasara ilu Igbo. Unfortunately, it's around 2 a.m. in Nigerian time. That's when the class will happen. But if you are awake, join us. It's going to be around 2 or 2:30 a.m. And then on Saturday, I ga-abịa ebe a ịkụ ekwe n'ihu akpụkpọ n'ihe gbasara ụfọdụ mmehie anyị na-eme mgbe a na-agọ ọjị. So if you are a mother and you are a father, your child is supposed to be very close to these programs we are having, because Karicha ndị nkuzi, when we did the workshop at Jibwe, the first here, you people saw the kind of teachings that we had in that workshop, pointing to the fact that anyị agafego n'oge mmadụ ga-atụrụ gasị na-enwe ebe eji Igbo eje, n'ihi gịnị asụsụ anyị bụ otu n'ime ihe ndị ga na-ahụ na ama social media na ihe niile eji arụ ọrụ ugbu a. People, ndị mmadụ a na-akpọzi ha ọrụ n'ogo dị elu n'ihi gịnị na ha ma Igbo, na ma enwe ndị ọzọ ma enwe mmadụ abụọ ndị anyị maara taa a na-anụ aha ha ebe niile n'ihi gịnị Igbo. Nwa amadi nke tụgharịrị akwụkwọ fiziks edere n'Igbo, ka o mechara ihe ahụ pịam, o nwetara agụmakwụkwọ n'efu n'ala bekee, tinyere nwanne anyị nwaanyị nke na-akụzi na Harvard. It is more like on learning Igbo than learning it. Thank you for that. It is seriously like on learning to learn. n'ihi gịnị dịka I nọ na-ekwu na Omenka app, one of the areas that is touching our soul and heart is that Igbo is really being butchered in terms of how people write Igbo. And this is something we want to correct. So here I will always open up. Primarily, we started this class for ndị nkuzi ndị na-akụzi Igbo. But this is a class that is very beneficial for everybody. Because I do not see how a person who will stand, just like I'm standing to teach, and I do not know the basic things of what I'm teaching. One of the popular scriptures I'd like to quote is what is said in Timothy chapter 6, study to show yourself approved. You know, when you are there to disseminate information about something, you should have it at your fingertip to a large extent. I won't but at least the areas I know it too well to, you know, be able to pass on the knowledge. So ọ bụrụ na ndị niile na-akpata Igbo aka n'ihe niile ha na-eme n'ụbọchị ha na ndụ ha know how to write Igbo, we are going to be very much better. Empty talk, empty talk, empty talk. We've missed you in the class today. All right. It's been fun, empty talk. You're welcome. The last one, while you have your question, please, you ask. All right. Amayama abụghị ngọpụnye iwu. Repete. All right. Amayama abụghị ngọpụnye iwu. Anyị na-anụkarị ya. Ndewo, empty talk. Ndewo nna m. Ya, ihe a bụ okwu anyị na-anụkarị na bekee. Echeghị m na anyị na-eji ike ekwu ya n'Igbo. Ya ka m chọrọ ka anyị dee. All right, everybody, let's go. Amaghị ama abụghị ngọpụnye iwu. Ndewo ndị niile apịrị anyị aka n'igwe, ndị na-emetụrụ anyị aka n'akara ịhụnanya. Appreciate you. Ahụrụ m na ikuku na-ebupụ ndị mmadụ na-ebubatakwa ha. It's unfortunate. Yeah, if your network is not stable, see people going and coming. All right, let's get on with it. Amaghị ama abụghị ngọpụnye iwu. Do good. Amaghị ama abụghị ngọpụnye iwu. Otu onye agbaala mbọ ide ya. Amaghị ama abụghị ngọpụnye iwu. Odoziakụ Chinwe. Ndewo. Dịka ị na-ede ya, deere m ụka akpara akpa isi ka eji ekwe ya. Amaghị ama abụghị ngọpụnye iwu. Nke ya na ya so ụka akpara akpa isi ka eji ekwe ya. Ọ bụrụ na ị na-agbalị ide ihe a, ị ga na-akụtụkwa onwe gị aka n'obi na ịmatụkwa Igbo, weda ma idetechara ya ma nwere ebe isi dejọtụ ya. N'agbanyeghị, ị ga na-etu onwe gị aha. Ịmakwa ndị ahụ. Amaghị ama abụghị ngọpụnye iwu. Do good and Chinwe. Ndewo. Ndị ọzọ. Then nke abụọ ya, ụka akpara akpa isi ka eji ekwe ya. Ka anyị chịkọta ha abụọ ọnụ ma kọwaa ha ebe ahụ. Amaghị ama abụghị ngọpụnye iwu. Ụka akpara akpa isi ka eji ekwe ya. Yep. Hey, guys, yeah. Oh, you are welcome. came late. Welcome you. All right. It's been fun in the house. Amayama abụghị ngọpụ nye iwu. Nke abụọ, ụka akpara akpa isi ka eji ekwe ya. Yeah, who is writing that one? Seen two people write the first, and we're looking at the second. So why did empty talk? Yeah, it's okay. Thank you, brother. Ndewo. Ụka akpara akpa isi ka eji ekwe ya. Anyị ahụgo onye mbụ dere ya. Yep. Let's go. We have a few minutes left. All right. Yeah, who else is bringing that on? Okay, let me write the first one while I wait for the second one. Ofoye de Goroya. Ụka akpara akpa isi ka eji ekwe ya. Ndewo empty talk. Aha, kedu onye ọzọ na-ede? Ụka akpara akpa isi ka eji ekwe ya. Lady. Ndewo. Enwere onye ọzọ tupu m dee ya? Amaghị ama, ụka akpara akpa. Amaghị ama. Chinwe, ụka akpara akpa isi ka eji ekwe ya. All right, anyone more? Ndị niile dere, ndị niile gbalịrị na agbalịala. Ndewo unu emeela. Ndewo. Okay. Ka anyị dee nke ahụ. Nke abụọ ya. Ụka I must tell you this. Do good. Ndewo. Beatrice. Amayama abụghị ngọpụ nye iwu. Ndewo. A sentence like this, ihurahirokwu a, can pose a great problem for an average person who wants to write Igbo. Okay? Ahirokwu dị otu a can be very problematic. That you got it correctly is fine. Okay? This one is a little bit simpler. But to my opinion, is a potential problem sentence. All right, let's look at them. Why? First of all, I got matana. Amayama comes from a verb phrase, like we see here. Okay. And neighbor, amai, is not talking about a person who do not know. Awo na ibia tuwariwa ya na beke. Ihe ọ bụ pụtara gịnị? Ignorance. Amayama is ignorance. So it is not a person we do not know that does not know. Okay. So obo na obo amayama, which on its own now, ndewo neka, which on its own now is a verb noun, a verbal noun. Yeah. Sincerely, for the past how many weeks we've been learning this. So I decided that today we're just going to be testing ourselves with, sentences that I na-ekwu ha ụbọchị niile, but to write them is a problem. Like an average Igbo speaker will easily say any of these things, but Deni anono dokore garamin da butie. Because ide ya awuruzie ihe na-ese okwu. And like you said, on learning to learn, to relearn, is a process that we think here will help all of us in a way that we are, approaching Igbo language. Sincerely, like we have Otundi Nkuzi Igbo in Igbo, right? It is my opinion that a lot of people na dodgy because they don't want to be judged that they wrote incorrectly. I used to be in another Otu Otu Owandi Igbo. It's also the same. People feel the group, but they don't write. So, and that is one of the huge issues with learning a language. Okay, it is really easier to write English, and the problem with that is also because we were colonized with the English language, so we take it for granted. And the other aspect of this, that is the reason we are going to be having a conference with social media content creators very soon in the next month. So if you are here, you are a social media content creator, and you are an Igbo person, you promote Igbo language with your content. We are going to be having a conference very soon in the next month, and we expect that you please register to attend. And in with the flyer, it's also going to be important for you to share it amongst people that will benefit from it. So, nkena imeru so much about the aspect of those who now create content with Igbo, infusing the incorrect form of Igbo in what they do. And some of the times you might approach them to correct them. They tell you, say, no, it's not true. Take, for instance, the issue of writing N and M together in Mma and Chidimma and all of those things that are going on in people's names today generates a lot of discussions. So many people that have these names written this way, you see them defending it, when there's no background to defend it, because it falls under not just orthography, the writing of Igbo, but rather the phonetics, which is the articulation of Igbo sounds. So Igbo does not support it. Again, the issue, I was speaking with my team in the meeting earlier, the issue of today, people greeting Otutoma, Ihihoma, Baleoma, which has become almost the order of the day, approved by WAEC, is also another problem. You tell people, this is not a traditional greeting in Igbo language. They seem to argue it. Some of them say, okay, yeah, it has come to stay. Why don't you use it? The question is, why do we go borrowing when we have the original? Why would we go converting when we have the traditional? Yeah, I mean, it's not completely wrong. Okay, Beatrice is asking a question about dialectal writing. So first of all, Obuni, the people that have much of a problem in bringing dialects in the writing of Igbo language are mostly people who speak Anambra dialect, Enugu dialect. And we know where the problems are in the use of L and R, N versus L, in some words. I know we are, like, one of the things we are going to discuss is that in the conference, the issue of bringing dialects in the writing of Igbo language. I am one of those that proposes that speak your dialect if you know your dialect, but write the standard Igbo. To the best of your knowledge that you know the standard, write the standard. Because when a language is in a written form, it comes to that written form in the standard format, or is expected to in the standard form. The reason for that is, if we are all allowed to write our dialects, there's not going to be any pattern in the writing of the language. Everybody's dialect will become the best or better one. Okay, mma, yes, my brother, knife is MMA, me a. Now, while that is an ongoing argument, people who speak more of the Anambra dialect feel that, oh, why don't you write your dialect? How about onye Ọhafia Derege dialect? Ị ga-aghọtakwa ya? How about onye Ngwa maọbụ onye Mbaise? Okay? How about every one of us begin to write our dialect? Who will understand the other? So that is why, even in speaking Igbo language, linguists have what they call mutual intelligibility. You should speak in a way that you create understanding across the Igbo nations. It is unfortunate that today, a lot of people assume their political identity given to them by political terrain than their cultural identity in terms of Igbo. So whereby people will say, I'm Delta Igbo, or I'm from Delta, I'm not Igbo. Those are nonsensical political talk. Okay? So long as you are Igbo, asina Igbo na asu n'olu n'olu mana akwụ ụkwara ọbụrụ gịnị otu, which means that the dialects make the standard. You are allowed to speak your dialect, but when you want to write, learn to write in the standard. But the problem is, if you are taught in the dialect, even in the written form, it will be difficult for you to know how to write the standard. So this is one of the things we want to really talk about during our conference that is forthcoming. Okay. All right. Thank you for those reactions. Yes. Chidimma, not Chidimma. So empty talk, the first one is not correct. The second one is correct. It is me a, ma, m abo na agakota, not n and m. They don't go together articulatorily, okay? The Igbo does not permit you to pronounce n, m together. They don't go. But when the n is, possibly when the n is mirudume in some occasions, they can co-occur. This has formed some level of conversation na Otundi Nkuzibo, whereby we look at the co-occurrence of n and, nwe as a sound when we wanted to talk about nwale and all of those, but that's beyond the conversation here today. All right. So amayama bo ignorance, and so that qualifies it to be so like what I said, Beatrice, Omenka app supports you should speak your dialect if you must speak your dialect, but write the standard Igbo. That is our position. Okay. In writing Igbo, write the standard. Speak your dialects because the dialects must live. They are not supposed to die. But when you see yourself in an environment where the dialects are more spread, try to create mutual intelligibility by coming closer to the standard. And why are you doing that? You're doing that because you want to make sure that everybody understands you. Now, it's a matter of communicating than a matter of showing that, oh, my dialect is superior to the others. Of course, no dialect is superior to the other. Okay, so our position is speak your dialect, write the standard. So this confusion has been around, especially I was present live when Chinua Achebe, our Igbo guru in literature, delivered a paper that was really projecting just the dialect, and what that paper lacked was the emphasis on the speaking versus the written form of the language. Yes, that's what we are looking at. So in Omenka app, because we are using text and audio together, we are concentrating our effort on only the standard. But there's something we are building in Omenka app, which especially on the word section, again at the word section, you are supposed to be able to see whatever word that is pronounced and also written in the standard, you can provide us with a dialectal version of it. That is going to be user-based, whereby if you are a dialect of Ohafia, like I mentioned, if you see that we wrote the Igbo greeting as Ndewo and No, you know that your own greeting is excluded. So we are going to be providing a column where a person will go in there and provide what you greet and how you greet. And we are doing it like what we see in the Atlas of Languages that is built by UNESCO. So that is the one interesting aspect of the app that we're building at this moment. But currently, both our voicing and our written form, we are concentrating on the standard. All right, there. Okay, so amayama, aboyi ngopo. This is also a verb, aboyi. It doesn't have a pronoun, so ayedexa anything. Nye iwu. That's ignorance is not an excuse to the law. That's what it said. Now, oka a para apa, a para apa. Kedu onye para dị ụka? A para dị ụka. Watch the next apa here. The next a that comes here is written together. Why? Because it's a prefix. Because the verb about okay. So this is something that only your brain, the brain of a native speaker, is the thing that will tell you this. It is really, really, really difficult. Even me, that I'm teaching it, it's difficult like to teach it. Because at this point, if a person is confused about what we're discussing, I find it difficult to have other vocabulary, other ways of like explaining it, other than like saying iga watararea. You need to have the basic understanding that this is a pronoun versus this is a prefix. And if you have not gotten to that level of that understanding, you will continue to make mistake in doing this. Okay. No, so see, take empty talk. Just remove it from your mind that N and M can be written together in English. I'm sorry, in Igbo language. Okay, the co-occurrence of N and M does not happen. So so in morphology, that's what we call productivity. Okay, productivity is whereby you see frequency of occurrence of a particular form of a word. So in sounds, N and M do not come together. It's just like Igbo does not permit two consonants, just what the two consonants to co-occur, unless one consonant is functioning as mirudume, which is what is it called again? Semi-vowel. Mirudume. So that's the only time it can occur. But even with N and M, even if one has to, so there is also little occurrence of where you see N working as in Mirudume there with only M coming after it. But you can see syllabicness on my sister. You can see where N comes and followed by another in Mirudume as well, which is Nwe or Nyi or something like that. All right. Okay. So Eba Obua, I was saying that at this point, I don't even know what other word I will use to explain to you why this is as apart and this is together, other than to say, just know that this is, yes. Which is saying Unjurudume is another Wahala. Exactly. A lot of Wahala there for Igbo language anyway, but you know, we are getting there. So just know that, first of all, this is a pronoun, okay? And that knowledge will guide you to know that this is a verb. And if you were in my last week's class, when I was explaining this, I was careful. I tried me dry gawa to the academic, arguments and everything, but it was important for me to draw the tree diagram to help us understand. Mgbe anyị mụrụ Igbo mgbe anyị mụrụ English na secondary school, even primary, the basic thing they used to do for us is this, that what I did the last time, which is subject predicate. Okay, every sentence has a subject and predicate. And I try to explain it in other way to say what you see on the subject is a noun. Okay, but that noun shoots down from noun phrase, the NP. That is what linguists draw as a diagram. Then what you see under predicate is a verb, and that verb shoots down from the verb phrase. And when you now have the verb phrase, you know that verb phrase will also have the first node as a noun and as a verb, and then the other node as a noun phrase. That's to tell you that a noun still comes after the verb, and that noun now is what? The subject. So when we guys say Emeka nyere Ugonna ego. Emeka nyere Ugonna. If I stop there, Emeka is a subject. Verb comes as in nyere. Ugonna is the object. Now we have another object there, which is also the object that is the object of giving. So there is a giving done by the subject, and the receiver, Onyenara, is the object, which is Ugonna. And what did Ugonna receive? Ego, which is also another noun. So that explains why we have noun phrase at the back of the verb, and the verb is the head of the verb phrase, followed by a noun phrase. And if you go to split it the more, this noun phrase got other particles that we're not interested at this primary level. But I just want us to bring back our knowledge of Ihakuziraina primary and secondary. Every sentence is dividable into two, subject and predicate. Whatever comes at the predicate level is something we can continue to talk about today. But the subject alone is the MP, which is a noun phrase that shoots down as the noun, as a head. Right, so uka paraba isika g kwen ya. So you see why I'm just saying that this is a problem sentence, okay? And when the presence of two Nnọchiaha, the fourth person, when the presence of two verbs that have prefixes that look like Nnọchiaha. So it becomes only your native speaker's intuition, native speaker's knowledge rather, that will enable you to really, really know where to place this A and A and A and A. But I'm glad that a lot of people dereya. But this is what comes up every day when we're writing. Now, if you are a teacher of Igbo language, even if you are writing fast, okay, all I am going to ask you is slow down when it comes to sentences like this. Become aware, become consciously aware that sentences like this can put you into trouble. Obona enwe a person that knows what you are talking about. Also, become aware that sentences like this can create a problem in the head of your students if you do not handle it well. So you need to slow down to ask yourself, in this sentence, Nnọchiaha onye anọ. That is my own term about this Nnọchiaha, okay? Nnọchiaha amaghị onye ọ bụ. Enwere nganiru na the ngwa. Yes, enwere ha abụọ. So for the two of them, Nnọchiaha must stand on its own. Nganiru must be attached to the verb. So that makes our correct sentence. Ajụjụ. This gets excited every time. Asụsụ Igbo bụ akpụ, ezigbote akpụ. Ndewo, Beatrice. Yes, sincerely, I mean, mụ na gị abụọ nwere ike anyị amachaghị ka o si arụ ọrụ in so many other languages, like African languages, other than English. I'm an, this is not, this is what we're talking about. English doesn't have it, even though English has its own problem of, spellings and pronunciations. It's different. This is completely different. Like, this is something that you can make a mistake about it without even knowing that you made a mistake in writing the sentences. But only when the basic knowledge of this is how it works. Okay, inwe ime mistake. Thank you. you will understand, that yes, I made a mistake. Okay? And that's what I am trying to get us to. The point whereby obuna idejoya, I have what an idejoya. Okay? Or I am marasi lekwote kwesịrị iji dee ya ọ bụ na mmadụ kpọrọ uche anyị ga ebe oh sorry, this is how it was supposed to have been written. Then gị marakwa the reason you are writing it, or you're supposed to write it that way as opposed to the other way somebody else would have written it. Okay? So ọ bụ na mmadụ bi ebe a dee ụka akpara akpa dekọta ọnụ, just like this. Now gị nwa gasị n'idezi ya, are you able to tell them the reason that he dezi ya? Are you able? So if you are not able, that means you do not have a grip of it. So our class here is to bring us to that level of knowledge where we are able to explain this is not correct and this is why it's not correct. Okay? And that comes from when you are able to understand the function of these little words. Okay? Oh yeah, the little ones. They're the ones that are giving us problem here. Like, it is easy for you to understand that oka. Excuse me, now oka bo a noun. Okay? It is on when you're getting azoya. Oh, oka, what is it? What part of speech is it? Yeah, you can understand it very easily that oka be a noun. It's easy for you to understand. Oh, yeah. Para is a verb. Okay? But when it has come to aba, what is it again? Or neighbor, what is it again? And ag and all of that. Ekwe. So these are the problems we face. All right. So this has been beautiful. Ana me kelende niile tinyere ya aka n'akara ịhụnanya, both on YouTube. It has been very lively. Beatrice, Neka, thank you all that are really actively learning on the YouTube, and a lot of you. Empty Talk, thank you. Reza, this is success. Sally, Lady, do good. Chinwe, you all are awesome, very awesome. Thank you. Those that joined us also a little bit late, and Tasha, appreciate you. Now on Friday, like I mentioned, Diomenka app ne another class, which is they want them. Yeah. And again, also, this helps us to become ambassadors for what we are talking about. Okay. The correctness of Igbo language. Like I said before, the areas where people claim professionals, but their professionalism step into the professionalism of other people, but they don't want to know that as much as they are professional labor, you just need a professional in this other aspect. Okay, I remember a recent TV broadcast that happened between Arise TV anchor Rufai and the Minister of Works, where the Minister of Work, Nona TV, claimed more a professor of road construction, and all of that. They will do good. Thank you. So sometimes we see ourselves, because we're professional in one aspect, we try to claim professional in another aspect, especially as it concerns Igbo language. Okay, because we're all Igbo speakers, even those that learned from outside in their mono na la beke no zibeke, who know little, but they know as much as they can be proud of. Sometimes we really claim that we know more than those who have studied this again and again and are able to tell you the function of every word. So why I'm saying is that if you are a promoter of Igbo language or whatever you do has to do with Igbo, the extent to which you know, recognize the extent to which you don't know. And at that point, seek the assistance of a person that knows. Okay? Like, so many of us think in English first. And that's another problem we have. By the time you are converting it to Igbo, it becomes a problem because you do not know how to change the meaning and the content of the translation you're making. So, but where we are today, all night consistent in coming to class and learning this, I pray, I really hope that in no distant time, we will become the ambassadors, people who are going to be writing the correct Igbo on our social media or any other place that we communicate with Igbo, and others will begin to learn. Okay, and at the end of the day, it becomes contagious. Those who did not know will pay attention to some certain things. The other aspect to Nekoku finally is the awareness, the consciousness of, oh, this is not reading correctly. If you have not gotten to that point, you need more training. And this is a place you can learn, since we've been trying to be consistent in providing this knowledge here. And it's free of charge. For those who want to learn Igbo deeper, we have a paid class that you can commit to. Okay, it's on our website, www.i-hav.org. You can go there and register for our paid Igbo class. Okay, then like I was saying on Friday, Sorai Imokesia Aghọta Ilu Igbo. Ilu Igbo dị mkpa. They are almost as important as the Igbo grammar. Okay, the time is here it is EST 8:30, and then I think with the new time change it's going to be 2:30 in Nigeria, for that class. Then on Saturday, like I mentioned, I'm inviting a guru in the knowledge of Oji and the mistakes we make in when we break Oji, okay, the kola nut. So many of you are joining me from other countries that are not Igbo land. I appreciate you so much. And the AI world is fast approaching. We don't know what it's bringing, but we know that AI is built on English language today, and the domination of AI translates into the domination of other languages by English language. Already we are still suffering from internet and all of that, and AI has come whereby you just tell na internet, do this for me, and it will just do it in a second. Okay, so if we're going to get to the point where AI will speak Igbo, well, I do not know, but let's take it one at a time. Our languages must live and stay even in the social media era, even in the AI era. It is very important. Yes, Omenka app will be getting there, and that is also like the problem we're having, Beatrice. If the people who do not know, because I've gone to Wikipedia, during my very active research in sign languages, I have contributed to Wikipedia, corrected some things that people, wrote about sign languages, which are not correct. Okay, my primary area of research has been the sign languages, and I document local and indigenous signing systems. So that is also what happens in Igbo. If you want Google to do things for you in Igbo, it will mess everything up. People feed Google with those things that are not correct. Google did not pick it up from the ground. So if you have the wrong feeding, that's what people are going to assess. People who want to learn Igbo will go learning those nonsense that are put there. But if we know the correct thing and we have access to Wikipedia and all of those, we make the corrections. Okay, so that's the reason we're doing this. So Ilu Igbo is an aspect that we're very concerned with. Okay, because The deep knowledge of Igbo language starts with understanding Ilu Igbo. The fear of Ilu Igbo is the beginning of wisdom. And if you all want Igbo Kebo, Ima Ilu Igbo, Sobodekwa, Igamana, Urata Gekwa. So thank you everybody who stayed put till this time. Remember to be in class early next Monday. For those that came late without excuses, you come and see me in my office and receive your punishments. Empty talk is not among those because empty talk is give excuse. Empty talk is not based in Anambra. So, all right. Thank you all. In the absence of any other thing, I hereby declare that today's class has been successful, and I appreciate a whole lot of you that made it very successful. And let's engage the more as much as we can and make this program more popular, please. And God will help us in promoting our language. Umafibo ya dronuma Chukwu nyere anyị aka n'ihe niile nke anyị na-agba mbọ ya karịchasịa ime ka klaasị agbasago nne m ọ dịkwa mkpa ka anyị gụọ anyị agbasago akwụkwọ unu mana akwụkwọ na-atọ ụtọ mana ọ na-ara ahụ na mmụta. Ndị niile bịara nụ Chukwu gọzie unu. Ụbọchị nta ka anyị chọọ unu n'Owerre nchi nke ga-abụ Friday, Saturday na Monday na-abịa abịa. I hope to see all of you alive and in that class. Thank you, Beatrice. Thank you so much for your contributions. All right, here we go. I don't seem like I know where to end my life. All right, bye-bye.